Good morning, everybody. Hope you guys are well. Welcome back to another week review. So, we're gonna start with obviously going to the week and then news and check the daily for what we suspect for the week to come. So, we had a calm week. Started off badly, to be honest. Uh, yeah, we had 2 wins, 2 losses. So, and we do stand good on that count. So, that's kind of nice. So it was start Monday. Monday's price action was actually so clean, especially with this Judas swing that we had, and then we had this first displacement for value gap. And look how nicely Price used it. When Price left it, went below it, and then went to take out this low, these relative equal lows, this low, and okay, it didn't come for this, but this and this. Very clean. I forgot to from it, do not disturb. There you go. Yeah. So clean price action on Monday. I'm not gonna lie. Also, I saw this late where price used. Oh my days. I don't see it. Oh, it's not visible here. Wait. Okay. Never mind. But yeah, price uses first for value gap very cleanly. It's failing to reach for that end dog right over there. I don't remember about regarding the opening range gap. Ugh. I don't remember, but I think it almost closed the gap if I'm not mistaken. We'll probably you can check that on QQQ real quick. Let's check. Let me check real quick. QQQ Monday, Thursday, Monday. Oh, Monday. It went to fill the gap close to halfway point of the gap. Excuse me. So yeah, Monday was clean. I genuinely felt like I should have traded Monday, but we don't trade Mondays. Just look at it, observe, and just get it for the week to come. But this Monday, I just might trade just because just to get that day in so that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday we could potentially have the phase two. So Monday I'll try to see if I can get the $6. If not, I'm gonna have to wait for the Tuesday. But ideally I'll see what I can do for Monday to get that. And also look during the day how price came back and used that first for value gap very cleanly, the utilization of that first for value gap. And then we went to go Tuesday where we took a loss, right? And I should have just left it to how it was because I did end up moving my stops lower. And funny thing, at the moment, bro, I just knew I was like, I'm not supposed to be doing this, but I had to protect myself because as you guys can see, the Monday the price action was very bad, was high resistance trading. And my stops were up here. Like, can you go back, watch the video? And then when we had this again, I knew I was like, oh, okay, and then we saw price respect at lower half. Even though he has respect in the lower half, I was like, oh, okay, then I guess I'm good. And it came to rate these two highs before going lower. And when it rated those two highs, my stops were literally below this. And then that's when I got stopped. And I wasn't even risking for much. I think my first TB was like, it was here, just here. Because I was like, price is potentially probably going to use this first value gap. And I didn't want to be greedy uh on Tuesday, but I ended up getting messed over and then price going making a bit lackluster here and then ended up reversing using that first value gap again, using this value gap right over here and then sending price higher. Very nice there. Very clean day. Not really because the morning was high resistance was really bad and yeah, we got that. Right? Yeah. So that was Tuesday. And then Wednesday we had Wednesday. And this was Wednesday's price action. I, I like how price uses for value gap and price doing this kind of told me, like I kind of saw that's like this is probably gonna buy. This is probably gonna buy. But I was married to my buyers, and obviously I did not do it. Let me see. I was not gonna trade this yet. I wanted to wait and see that what if price wants to go lower, but it was more above the opening range gap, and like price wanted to close the gap, and it ended up closing that gap actually, and using this first fair value gap, as you guys can see, you see here. If you had used this first fair value gap, you wouldn't have gotten stopped out. Let me see. Let me go back to show you, because your stop loss would have been below this wick right over here. So I'm just use this line to show you. Look at that. So if you had used this, put your stop loss below that, and use that to buy, would have been clean. But yeah, I was married to my buyers. I genuinely just saw sales when price went. I think I went. Not I know I went for sales here when price rejected this new week opening gap midpoint, and was expecting the opening range gap midpoint. I was like, okay, we're definitely selling. We had price inverse this for value gap, so price tap into this. I was like, we got it, gang. And yeah, I ended up getting stopped out. It looked clean to me. Genuinely looked clean. These lows, wait, is there? No, no. I just genuinely thought prices on a reverse. We have a Judah swing, but it's one of those days where prices want to go higher. It had different plans, and I was just on the wrong side that day. Man, yeah, I took shots twice this day. Yeah, I took shots twice, and I lost. So yeah, it's whatever. Anyway, Thursday, where we got a win. Thursday. Let's go to Thursday. I think this was Thursday. This was Thursday. Beautiful day, honestly. Where the Judah swing when price was going up, and then price broke. Hold on. Okay. Sorry, I had to do something. Well, someone was in the room rather, so I couldn't continue recording. So I had to just pause it real quick. So I a part of me knew that this could be a Judah swing because I waited for that eight for when I saw the 8:30 price to come sweep that, because that's where I don't thought might come to this all the way up here. From my experience, I would say every time there was news to say at 8:30, price would want to come and take all those people that were in that news or whatever the case is. And then we had this Judah swing, and the moment I saw price close below this, I went for shorts. You guys can see in the video. I got full down here for one of my positions, and then price came during the macro, tap into that first fair value gap, and we sunk. We was consolidating for some a bit like high resistance. Uh, and then the trade ended up heading out nicely. That was a good day, to be honest. Good day. We passed our count this day, but still have the minimum trading days, the minimum profitable days. Sorry. And then 4 day, we have one more day left. And then we had the Friday where we caught the mini sales, quick sales when we short this right over here. When price left this first value gap, I shorted that. It felt like forever, to be honest. And then end up getting that $7 that we $6, but I got like the $7 we needed. And then yeah, that was basically the Friday. Very clean day, I'm not gonna lie. And oh, later on, look at this. So this is the midpoint of an opening range gap on the high of like long ago. This is the midpoint, and this is the low of that opening range gap. The closing, probably the closing on the opening price. I think it's the closing. It's below here. Yeah, I think it was the closing on the open. I'm not sure. The midpoint. I did end up like taking a buys using the paper trading account. I ended up getting stopped out of that to aim all the way for that London high, but didn't work out because this ended up stopping me out. But my point is that look how price came for that midpoint of that opening range gap. Literally came for that, but I didn't go for it exactly, and then it failed, and then it went lower. Yeah, that was clean. end up going lower using that this and this first value gap and this, and then we ended up dropping, coming back to take out this low. And then yeah, that was it. And then we have Friday. I mean, for this week to come, Monday we don't have news. We'll see how the price action is. Tuesday could potentially get a nice trade off that. We'll just see. Wednesday, I'm not sure because of this. So price might be ass in the morning. And then uh Thursday it's good as well. And then probably Friday. Friday's good as well. So this week looks clean. We could potentially plus the funded this week, the phase two. Phase two only if we do that phase. Only if we do that, we get the minimum profitable days. So we'll just see how we do this week. Then yeah, that's basically it from me. See you guys. Oh, I forgot what I think about what's coming for the next week. Okay, uh, we we are closing below this, and we still have this fair value gap right over here. We might get a reversal, and maybe price coming back into this. We're gonna have this fair value gap. We do have this fair value gap that's floating right there, so we might get a bit of retracement when we buys, and also depends how we gap. So I'm optimistic about this week to come. Looks like we're gonna have a clean week. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It's not really much going into detail much. Uh, yeah, pretty much it. Not much value to be honest. If you ask me about this weekly recap, I just went through wins, losses. That's it. I didn't get into depth into anything, but I hope it helped you guys. Looking forward for the week ahead, and let's just see what we make the most of it. Honestly speaking, let's just make the most of it. Psychology wise, I I hope I'm good in my trading. I'm not trying to rush anything. So sometimes I do find myself rushing and rushing those pushes that I'm in. And I remind myself that it's okay to go through losses. It's okay to win and lose, especially when I'm just seeking that consistency, because I'm going through this battle of losing and winning all the time. So, yeah, but we almost there, boys. We're gonna get it. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Take care.